So you've gone to restore your seed phrase onto your wallet and realized that you've got an error in your mnemonic, or maybe you've forgotten your BIP39 passphrase. And the problem is, when you've looked at tools like BTCRecover, you've realized you don't actually know any of the addresses that were tied to the account that you're looking for. So you're wondering, do you have any options? Well, fortunately you do, and what I'm going to run through here today is just a real quick demo on how to use BTCRecover without having to know any of the addresses that were associated with your account at all. So if you haven't already done so, hit subscribe, and that way you can stay in the loop about content I make to help you stay safe and help you to recover if you make a mistake. So I've done a number of videos that look at BTCRecover, and all of those have been videos where you know at least one address associated with the account that you're looking for. But what I'm going to look at today is how to use BTCRecover using what's called an address database. And basically what that is where we download an entire copy of the blockchain that we want to search. So for example, Bitcoin. And essentially what we're looking for is if there are any addresses at all that have ever been used that could match the recovery seed that you're trying to partially recover. The reason this works is that the address space on Bitcoin is so large. For you to have, say, 22 out of 24 words and to find a combination of words that results in even one address that's ever been used, it's very likely that that is your address. So the good thing with the BIP39 wallet is that if you had, say, 5 or 6 different cryptos on there, if you've received even a single transaction on any one of these supported coins, you can then use that blockchain to do an address database recovery to regain access to your seed, even without knowing what the address was. So this process I'm going to go through today and the instructions I'm going to give you will actually only work with the fork of BTCRecover that I've done a number of improvements on, in that if you try and just download it off Monacoin, which is the repository I used in some of my previous videos for using BTCRecover with a SegWit address, or if you download the one off Gernex repository, it will not work. And that's a number of reasons why that's the case, and we'll look at those here. Now, for the sake of this video being right into the future, if you do run into issues just downloading the master zip file, I've actually also just packaged a release that includes the source code, so we'll just download that and save it. And what we're going to do is basically step through the documentation on what you'll need to do to use an address database. So this video is not going to go into the level of detail for how to, download the zip file, unzip it, how to install Python, or how to set up this environment securely in Linux. And for that, you need to check out my first video on how to do seed phrase recovery, or the Windows 10 video that really steps through how to do it step by step. The other thing that I've gone and done is actually made some pre-made address database files. We've got the address database for Bitcoin Cash, for Bitcoin, Litecoin, Monacoin, and Vertcoin. Go away. And you can basically just download those, unzip them, and use them rather than go through creating the address database from scratch. At the moment, I think I'll update the address databases on Mega probably every 6 months or so. So what we're going to do is just run through how you'd create an address database. And for the sake of this example, I'm just going to create an address database for Vertcoin, just because it's a nice small blockchain, which is quick and easy to work with for the sake of this video. The very first thing you should do if you decide you want to create the address database yourself is go and download a full node client of the blockchain you're wanting to use. So that's sort of like the full node wallet. And in Bitcoin, that's called Bitcoin Core. You can just get that from bitcoin.org. One of the ones for Bitcoin Cash is, Bitcoin ABC. It's a full node one. Likewise, Litecoin have followed the naming convention of Bitcoin, so you just download Litecoin Core Wallet, or Vertcoin is the same. And just for the sake of completeness, you can get Monacoin as well, so you want the full client as well. And it's important to note that any light wallets, so wallets like Electrum, will not work for this. You need one that's going to download the full blockchain for you. When you run these full wallets, it's basically going to load the block index, and when you run it for the first time, it'll ask you where you want to store the blockchain. You're going to want to make sure that wherever you tell it to go, especially if it's Bitcoin, has at least 300 gigabytes of free space, because the Bitcoin blockchain is massive, and it will take a good while to download the blockchain. Start your full node Bitcoin wallet or Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, whatever. Go away, have a coffee, come back tomorrow. Okay, so now that we've got our blockchain downloaded, we can actually start to create our address database and then start running BTCRecover against it. So what you're going to need to do is open command prompt and navigate to where you've unzipped BTCRecover. So what we're going to do is we want to say Python create address db.py, and I'll just show you the help just so you can see the different commands that are there, because some of these are going to be important. So for any altcoins at all, if you want to parse their blockchains, you'll need to specify data.dir, or if you've installed the blockchain to somewhere other than just the default for Bitcoin Core. So basically, I've just got the Vertcoin wallet on D drive in Vertcoin data. So we'll say data.d Vertcoin data. Now, because this is the Vertcoin blockchain and it doesn't need a full 8 GB file, which is the default, because this has been designed to just work if you throw the Bitcoin blockchain at it, what we're going to do is we are going to look at this table here, my little quick reference table, and see that, yes, Vertcoin only requires a DB length of 22. So that's going to take a while to go, and if you're doing the Bitcoin blockchain, that's going to take hours. So now's the time to go off, have a coffee, and if you want to get one of these fancy mugs and help my channel out at the same time, I'll throw a link in the description for where you can get one of them on Amazon. And there we go, saving address database, it is finished. And if we just have a look in Windows Explorer, we can see the address database there, and for Vertcoin, it's only 32 megabytes. So that only took a couple of minutes, and that is good. So what we do now is using this with the address database, once you've got it, is actually very straightforward in that if you don't put it in an address or an XPub, BTCRecover will just default to using an address database, or as I'll show you in a minute, you can actually tell it which address database to use. So we'll just have a quick look at how to use BTCRecover to find a Vertcoin account on a derivation path that I have over here. So basically we can use the same sorts of commands I've used in the past, and we're going to just leave the address limit as 1 for this one. Now, the important thing here is, like all my other videos, the derivation path matters a lot. And this derivation path here is pretty much the default derivation path for the first account in Vertcoin. So that's what we want. So if we just say go, and we say we don't have a wallet, if we say we want a BIP3944 wallet, but we don't have an XPub, don't have an address database, we can see it will actually load the address database. So that's now loaded all 2 million addresses into the address database. So our best guess of the mnemonic is this one, where I've just replaced the first word with the number 1, and then we say go, and it will just sit there and find a result in a few seconds. There we go. So that's found the result basically straight away. Remembering that the only reason this one only takes a couple of seconds is because it's a single word error. And I'll just show you a quick example of how you do this using the Bitcoin database. Alright, so here's the address database file for Bitcoin I've downloaded off Mega, and what we're going to do is we're just going to say extract all, and just for the sake of simplicity, we're just going to extract this to my D drive. So we've got this basic command for BTCRecover, and what we're going to do is we're essentially just going to add address db, and I unzipped it onto D drive, and it's called addresses-btc.db, and we hit enter. So it'll sit there for a second because it's loading the address database. If you find this command just sort of hangs here, it may be because you actually don't have enough memory at all. But basically this loading address database will take a little while to run based on how fast your hard drive is. And there we go. So it's loaded it. We can see that it has loaded all 577 million addresses for Bitcoin that have ever been used. And it's asking us to select a wallet file. We don't have one. We just want a standard BIP3944 wallet. And we want our best guess of our seed. So we're just going to use the same seed as before because they're all from the same BIP39 wallet. And we say, okay. And there we go. So it found it. And basically, without any addresses whatsoever, it's found this address just because it was already used once on the blockchain. The other thing that's really interesting to know is you get almost no performance penalty for using an address database, in the sense that BTCRecover can run through and essentially check each of its results against almost 600 million Bitcoin addresses, really at about the same speed it checks against one. And I've got a demo of that here, and while there is a small performance difference, it's not like it takes even 5% longer if you're using an address database. So this can be a really good way to go if you're even slightly unsure or uncertain about the addresses that you've used in the past. In this video, I've only demonstrated how to do it with missing words in your seed phrase, but it will also work with a BIP39 passphrase using exactly the same method I've shown here, and the same commands for pointing it to an address database. So if you get stuck using BTCRecover, send me a message on Reddit, leave a reply on YouTube, or maybe even open an issue on GitHub. And if you'd like BTCRecover to support a coin in terms of offline blockchain parsing that it doesn't currently support, definitely submit a pull request and I'll be happy to review it and incorporate it in. Thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful. Hit like if you think that other people would find this video useful, and hit subscribe if you'd like to be kept in the loop about future content I make that helps people stay safe in the crypto space and to recover if they get into trouble. If you have any questions about this video or a topic that you'd like me to cover, just leave a reply.